Hi everybody, my name is Shannon. Welcome to my channel, Another Yarn. Thank you so much for joining me today. I greatly appreciate it. Oh my goodness, this is my Monday video. And on my Monday video, I like to go ahead and gather all around me in precarious piles and everything. It's about ready to avalanche and fall down. Everything that I've worked on for the week. Sometimes I miss something, it's okay, but that's what I like to do and see, did I actually get things done or did I just talk a good game? Some weeks that's really it. Like last week I finished one pair of socks. One pair, that's it, one pair. But I mean, socks are a big project. If you've never made a pair of socks, they are a large project. May fit on a person's foot, but I definitely can count those as large projects. So last week it was just that. This week I had more things that were close to being finished, got on a little bit of a finishing spree, and I have some stuff to show. So I'm very excited about that. I'm like, oh, I got some stuff done. Yes. And I don't know, did I start more than I finished? Maybe. See, that's the issue. I might get some things done. It's like, oh, look, I got one thing done. Let me go cast on two or start two or whatever. Yeah, that's a problem, but that's okay. I'm good with my problem. It's okay. I don't want to solve it. So yeah, I'm not looking to solve it. Nope, not at all. So shall we go ahead and look at some of the stuff that I was able to accomplish and actually get finished this week? Now, let's not get all crazy. Are all my ends woven in? No, they're not. Will they be woven in before I gift them, give them away, send them off to the forever home, whatever it happens to be? Yes, they will. I will finish them for that purpose. But some of them, they just didn't make it for today's video. That's okay. I still count them. So one of them, the Thursday video, yeah, that little glimpse of yellow. Oh yeah, we know what's going on here, right? My Thursday video was the shawls for things we're making Thursday. And it spurred me on to finish some of my shawls. So this week saw another finished shawl. I got 2 shawls finished this month. Yes, hallelujah, that's fantastic. So this is the Laura shawl. Isn't that pretty? And obviously I used a gradiating yarn starting from, it was 2 100-gram rings of yarn is what it is. It's that like Zauberball type stuff. And this one came with a ring with 7 little balls about that size, and it equaled 100 grams. And the first ring I got started with that white, and then it blended into the yellow. And then the second ring started with the same yellow as the first ring and went all the way to the black. Now I did skip one of the yellow black mixed balls here because I wanted to finish it with the black since I started it over here with the white. But that's it, and it's done. Now this pattern is by Lily Go. Fantastic crochet artist. If you've never seen her or heard of her before, highly recommend looking at her. This is a paid for pattern, and the pattern calls for beads. I obviously did not opt to do the beads, but if you wanted to, can you imagine a bead in between every flower? Wouldn't that be stunning? I'm just saying. And the other thing I did not opt for because of my gradiating yarn was the finishing row or 2 of, I don't know, it was half double crochet around the edge. I didn't pay that much attention to it because I obviously didn't do it. But if I were to make this in a solid color or an all over variegated, where the whole thing is variegated, yes, I would have put on that border. But I didn't want to break up the color, and I think this looks quite nice just the way that it is. It does need to be blocked just because, and the ends woven in and gifted or wherever it's going to be. It did turn out big enough, which I was a little surprised. As I was working on it, I'm like, I don't think it's going to work. I think it's going to be too small. The pattern does have 2 sizes, so you can choose. So there we go. I finished a shawl. Yay! Crochet shawl done. All right. How exciting. That to me is very, very exciting. Got something done. So really pleased with that. And this week, not only finishing some things, I did a couple of reviews on yarn, and one of them was the Big Twist Supernova, and it came in these beautiful cakes like this. And I started a hat with that, and I was able to finish my hat, and Look at the bobbles. I didn't want to do just a plain hat. I wanted some movement in there just to see what the yarn was going to do. So broke it up to where they're not straight stripes. Does that make sense? Because the cable is kind of making it move. Kind of like gives it a little bit of a zigzag look to it. So finished this. So if you ever wondered if you can use those patterned yarns, or you know, doing a textured or a pattern stitch with a yarn that has a life of its own, sure you can. Are you going to lose something with the texture? Yeah, but that's okay. I think with the movements from the cables on it, it does still give it, it kind of makes it look like, you know, your eyes are going like jittery like this. That's what it looks like to me anyway. And was able to finish this. This is the, if you were around, this is the same hat pattern that I ended up gifting to Lori from the Armchair Chef for the last Mystery Yarn Challenge that we did with her. It's the exact same pattern. What a difference the yarn makes. You can hardly tell. You really, really can. Still happy that I did it. Sometimes with a highly colored yarn, when you do the moving stitches, the cables, the lace and everything, you're not going to see it as much. I'm still good with it because see how the cable breaks up that straight line? It would have been just stripes. It would have been actual just plain stripes, I think, all around, but it gives a little bit more movement with that. I'm pleased with it. I really am. And it looks like I've got plenty to make another hat or whatever it is that I want to make with this. I was sad I didn't get into the pink. I wanted to. That's the only pink in this entire cake of yarn. I did not get into it for here. It reminds me of fruit stripe gum. Just that little fruity stripes. So I've got plenty left to make another hat with. There you go. So that, like I said, is a new yarn from Big Twist. The other one that I did that's a new yarn from Big Twist is the Big Twist boho. And I was able to start, no, it's not done. Oh my gosh, I just got the yarn. I was able to start working on a sweater. And here is this. Isn't that pretty? I like the broken stripes of it. I do like that. I like it that it's not as the hard stripes. I think it gives more character, just my opinion. This is going to be beautiful. And I will link the pattern down below. This is a free pattern that I'm using from Hobby's website. It's the Lotus Blossom blouse is what they call it. Let's go ahead and expand this a little bit so we can see it better. So with that mohair blend, you know, nice and light and airy, and that's what I'm doing with that. It's a #1 weight. I think it can really be a little bit bigger than that just because of the extra halo to it. And I'm using size 8 knitting needles with that top. Not bad. I've tried it on the mannequin. I've not tried it on me, so I don't know exactly if it'll fit me, but you know, it works on the mannequin and that's roughly-ish my measurement, so there you go. So we'll see how that looks on me if I feel comfortable enough, because although the mannequin and I might have, you know, very similar proportions, I have my proportions make more rolls. There you go. That's a nice way to put it, right? And having something with such negative ease, I might not be comfortable with something that shows my my curves as much as that would. Is some of my curves go in the wrong direction? Yeah, that's a good way to put it. But we'll see. If not, I'm sure somebody will end up claiming it when it gets done. At this point, I don't know if I'm going to go a short sleeve or a long sleeve, but that is one of the other things that got started this week. So this week, if we're counting, I've started 2 things, finished one of them, and one is obviously not done. It's okay, it's okay. But finish this too. Yes. All right. So yeah, I guess that means that I finished a couple things, you know, whatever. Anyway, another one that I finished, happy. Oh, look at this. I got another pair of socks done. This is the KFI sock yarn and the Berroco Vintage Sock yarn. This is the Berroco Vintage up here, and it's the KFI Organic Merino for the foot portion. And there we go. That is what I was able to make. Doing that with the heels toe cuff, I've got plenty more to make another pair of socks for somebody else. But it's time I get some of the men's socks done. I need to get more of the manly men's socks. One of the things that I did notice, Now this is perfectly striped. They match up 100%. There you go. No issues at all from the top to the bottom. I didn't have to count rows because of the way the yarn is. When I was looking at it, I thought that I went all the way to this, then the white. This is my second one, and I did a few rows of the white, so this one is a little bit longer. I did already weave in the toe. I did already weave in all of my ends for this. I'm just going to pretend I didn't see that. It's going to go in the finish box. I'm just going to pretend we're good. They're not going to be for me. I'm not going to twitch. I'm not twitching. Oh my gosh, is my face turning red? Is my face turning red just thinking about that? Yes, it is. I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave it. My face is turning. I'm just talking about it, saying, I'm doing it. I've got strength. I'm going to leave it as is. And my face is turning red. I'm doing it. I'm going to just put it in the sock box. It'll be beautiful. They will be loved and they will be worn. I feel judged. Okay. So that's three projects done. I am finishing the month of September out with a bang, man. I'm telling you. And the other one I got done. I've got pictures. Yeah, you can tell. I have pictures. I had sent my oldest son a picture and said, hey, buddy, what do you think? Should I make it bigger? As in hint, hint, because he and my daughter-in-law, they've really been wanting the blanket, and he is so appreciative. He just, when he suggests something or whatever, I just can't help it, and I want to make him things. He is so thankful and so grateful and so appreciative. Us as crafters, that's the type of person we want. I mean, if you're going to give your things away, you want to give it to somebody who just makes you feel all gooey inside, and that's what he does. So I texted him, I'm like, hey buddy, should I make it bigger or send this to the kids? Because I'm really working on a lot of the blankets for Camp Boggy Creek, and this is the pattern in memory of my mother, his grandma, right? And that pattern is the Trip Around the World pattern, and it is a tutorial. I'll link that one down below also. I'm donating mine to Camp Boggy Creek. You don't have to, but you can. You know, but that's totally up to you. And yeah, so I wanted to know, was I making this one for him? Because I would have made it a lot bigger, because he's like 6'5", right? You know, I wouldn't make it like a little kid's, just a shoulder, like hey, would you like a cape? You know, something like that. Well, he's a boy. He doesn't answer the texts, no. And yeah, he just doesn't. So he didn't respond, and I continued to make it bigger. And then last week I had some more done on it. And of course I forgot to show that picture, but now I am done. I finished it. Yes, I did. This one is made out of Joann Big Twist Rave yarn. It's all Rave yarn. So what is this, like 3 projects that I've got going on with Joann Big Twist yarn? I got a problem. I'm just saying, I got a problem. I mean, I like all kinds of yarn. I like the big box store yarn. Obviously, look at how much of the Joann I use. And I also like the bouchier yarns. I mean, it's just, you know, I like yarn. Yeah, I like yarn. Yeah, yes, I do. So I'm going to show this and hold it up the best I can. I know I got ends everywhere. Look at that. I've got all my ends everywhere. That's okay. I'll get those taken care of. Look at that. It is stunning. I'm gonna have to measure this thing again, because I know I did measure it, and I wanted this more towards the largest size that Camp Boggy Creek would accept and give to the children. Now they'll take all the blankets and they will be used, but if you want a child to take the blanket home, which I do, yeah, I do, the measurements have to be 35 to 40 inches wide and 40 to 50 inches long. So if you're doing a square, a 40 by 40 square, right? That's perfect. Well, I wanted this rectangle and I wanted it closer to that 40 by 50. That's what I was going for. And I went ahead and I measured it, or I laid it out, and I should have measured it then, but I did lay it out and it looked really big, but it might not be. I don't know. But let's see, what do we got here? So, you know, if it's too big, then I don't know, because I won't be able to shrink it. Let's see. So that's pretty big there. That's looking like, just in my arms and everything, 46-ish there. Probably a little bit more. So this might be too big. I mean, if they do get sent and it's too big, like what this, I don't know how I ended up doing that, but whatever. If it is too big, like this is way too big, it really is. This is like 46 by 60. I'm gonna measure it laying flat. I've got the pictures of it laying flat. I'm gonna measure it again. So if it's that big, I might end up giving this one to one of my kids. The oldest son, I draped it over his shoulders, and it's small on him. I mean, he's huge. And I'll end up making another one for Camp Boggy Creek if this one is that much bigger. That was not the intention. Who was it? Was it Erin from Crafting Kitty had made a blanket also, and she could have sworn she measured it. I think her and Brian both measured it. Brian's her husband. And I think they both measured it, and it turned out for her, it was like a 30 by 30 or something. I'm probably exaggerating, but it was significantly not the size that it needed to be, right? Significantly off. And she's like, I know I measured it. How is this a possibility? Well, Erin, I got you on that one. I could have been done with this so much sooner. What was I thinking? I don't know. I just kept going and kept going. And I mean, it's stunning. So I think one of the kids is going to be really happy. Yeah. And that was the thing with using the rave yarn. The rave yarn goes like this from, you know, cake, goes from color to color all the way around. So you're not getting a full round of squares that are a solid color. So it's more pixelated looking and more chaotic and random. And I wanted to see what that was going to look like. So this is my first time doing this. So now I'm probably going to have to do another one. But that's okay. I've got plenty of yarn. So, I mean, I've got enough yarn to do it. And my husband had asked me earlier, it's like, well, do you have enough to make another one of these for Brandon that's bigger? I'm like, well, I do. Because, you know, I do. And even if I didn't, I knew where to get it. Although, I think the Big Twist Rave yarn is one of those that they're rotating out. And it's pretty much what's in stock at your store and what you can get online. I don't know how much longer they're going to keep it. I don't have an inside track in any way, shape, or form. I just recognize patterns, right? And I think this is one that's going to be in and then out. Just like the Big Twist Party yarns. They had it for 2 years. They brought it in and then they sold out that run, and then that was it. And the Big Twist Fleck was the same way. I completely expect that from the Big Twist Supernova. I think there's 12 colors in this one. I 100% do not expect this to be one of their staples. This is just going to be an in and out kind of a yarn. Does have a wool content in it. Wonderful. Absolutely enjoyable. And on the Big Twist Boho, I think this is another one that's going to be an in and then an out. They're both finer yarns. They both have wool content. I think this one, the Supernova, will appeal to people more than this one. The colors are saturated and gorgeous. As we can see, I'm making a sweater with it. But with the mohair content, the fuzzier, this says it's a 1, this says it's a 2, I think. I don't remember. I don't have the ball band. But they're both smaller yarns. I just think this one's going to appeal to people more so than this when they touch it, when they feel it, and then when they start thinking of what am I going to make with it. That's just my opinion, but I don't know. I'm not a yarn genius. I just love yarn. So I've got those. What else do I have going on? All sorts of fun stuff. Yeah. Oh, yeah, you saw the picture. Isn't it cute the way that I've got it? Yeah, every end. But the cool thing about doing the trip around the world pattern like this, you can see how many different squares there are. And that's the one end, and everything times that by 2 for all of them, right? They all have a beginning and an end. But yeah, that's not a ton of ends when you consider how many individual squares if I were to make individual squares and sew them together. So that is an advantage of doing this style of blanket. It's a modular blanket. It's an attach as you go. It grows. It does wonderful things. It's fun. It's beautiful. Look at that. Oh, yeah. And it's warm. It's a big squishy hug. There's no doubt. It's a big squishy hug. All right. What else have I done? We know I've worked on some other stuff. Is anybody else doing the 10-gram challenge? Obviously I've gone through way over 10 grams of yarn a day with all the stuff that I've been working on, but I'm also trying to do a specific 10 grams a day on my husband's sweater. I am at 290 grams into his sweater. And by the end of the day, I'm filming this on Sunday, I should have 300 grams. By the time you watch it, I should have 310. So depending on the way to put it, I'm a little behind, don't know. So that is where I'm at. Look at this. Here's his sleeve. Look at that. So I have that much of his sleeve done. And yeah, he's not happy with it. No, he's not. He's like, oh, that's a hard yellow right there. Because it is its own, you know, the yarn, you can see as the yarn stripes through, right? You got thinner stripes here because you get less stitches. And as I increase stitches, it looks different, right? You know, I mean, then the yarn starts stacking on itself, the different colors. I got the yellow on that stacking on itself and the red over on this side. And then I hit that sweet spot where you had multiple rows where it's starting to stack, right? That's okay. It's just the beauty of the yarn. And I asked him, I'm like, well, honey, did you want me to pull all of that out and add another skein of yarn and everything and see, you know, there's no telling what it would do for that matter. There really isn't. Each skein is hand dyed. Each skein is unique in and of itself. And they do talk about when you're doing things with a patterned yarn like this, especially a hand dyed, rotating skeins back and forth and everything. I didn't want to do that. I didn't do it with his last one, his last Arcane Fiberworks sweater, the Saint Nick one that I made for him, and he didn't mind the way that the yarn stacked, where it stacked. This, because it's such a nice stripe so far, I mean, through the sleeve, through the entire body, it's a nice stripe. I think it does bother him a little bit, but he said, don't worry about it. Even if I pulled it out and added another skein, there's no guarantee that it would be that much different, if you know what I mean. It's just the nature. I mean, that's all there is to it. So I am just about done with the sleeve. I really am. Pretty cool. I have the body. I've got 2 full skeins of the Phenix Rising right there. That's the colorway into the body, plus the charcoal at the bottom. So here's the body of this, and then I've got this, and it's a form fitting, you know, so there's the sleeve. Isn't that pretty? Look at that. That is going to be really nice. And I've done it all on double points, which is crazy, but I have. But look at that. Look at that. Oh my gosh. So it's really making a difference. It's growing. It's going quite well. So far, I've done really well with keeping up on that 10 grams a day, which was, I'm not going to lie, it was a bit of a challenge with everything else that I spent time on, which is really humorous because my husband will remind me, hey, when he sees me working on something that I'm not supposed to be working on, you know, he's like, that's the wrong project, which means put that down and go work on my sweater. That's what that means. I have found he loves to be the center of my knitting world. He really does. This year is the first time that I've ever sat down and worked on and knit him a sweater, which he gave to our oldest son. That was the first one, the green one. And I have made him 2 sweaters, one he gave away, and I've got 2 more sweaters right now on the needles. This one, I wanted to do a sweater for him in fingering weight yarn in Tyler's fingering, and Tyler is the creative genius behind Arcane Fiberworks yarn, and his dyes are absolutely amazing, and they're saturated and they're gorgeous and they're so inspirational. And I made myself a sweater using his yarn and fingering weight, and it feels amazing. It is just luxurious to put on and to wear, and I'm, you know, getting kind of excited to those crisper days and what have you, to where I can actually wear it for the full day and not just modeling it. So I wanted my husband to feel that too. I wanted him to have that luxury. And he's normally so warm-blooded anyway. I thought a fingering weight sweater, a little bit lighter, it's still wool, but a little bit lighter sweater he would really appreciate. And once I started it, he's all in. He is 100% all in. And he's so adorable. He's already picked out his next sweater. Did I just comment? I've got 2 sweaters on the needles right now for him alone, right? So the sweater that he gave up, if you want to call it that, the first one made out of the green, it's a Berroco Ultra Alpaca, and he's decided that one goes to our oldest son, and which, because he wanted a sweater, and you know, the daddy's sweaters fit him, so that worked out well. And he wants another one, but same but different. Does that make any sense? He's realizing he likes some of the colors and he likes more patterns, and he said, well, honey, maybe you were right, and it could have used a cable going up the arm. You know, it could have done some of those things. I'm like, okay, I get where we're going with this. I do. So I just thought that was really kind of absolutely adorable. But he's really enjoying being in the center of the knitting world. He just got his blanket and got that one finished. So he's been snuggling up with that. And the kids, when they come over, they're like, ooh, you know, wanting to cuddle up in the blanket. And he's like, that's Papa's blanket. And he'll go put it away. Special, because, you know, kids can do things. They can, and not on purpose, but if it gets snagged, if it gets messed up, if it gets, you know, the if, he wants to be the one who does the if. You know what I mean? You know, if there's any accidents, he wants to be the accident maker as opposed to a grandchild. You can't get too upset with him, but, you know, it took a long time for me to get that for him, because I'd never made an adult size knit blanket. I had never knit my husband a sweater before. You know, those were both new first things for me this year. What a year of firsts. What a year of stepping outside, you know, and I'm so happy that I did, because he's so thrilled and so gracious the way he accepts things, and just the smile that he gets on his face, and just the happy pride, and just he really feels pampered and loved, and you can see it through his eyes, and that just makes me feel amazing. So I'm like, okay, you can have what you want, honey. It's okay. I'll go. What would you like now, sweetheart? I'll go work on it. It is really kind of crazy. If I would have known this earlier, I would have made him a sweater years ago. Well, I did as a crochet sweater when our oldest son, who's 31 now, you know, was a baby. But, you know, it's not like he could fit into it now. Yeah, I couldn't fit into my clothes back then, so why would I expect him to, right? But that's just how that goes. It's just fun stuff. Let's see, do I have anything else sitting over here that I have worked on? Oh, yes, I did. Because I was working on this, you can't see the progress, but I did, just because, you know, this is another one. This is, the composition is very similar to this. The difference would be the glitter. Go figure, right? Here, let's see how much. Look at these, right? Right? Come on. I mean, just saying. So this is ice. I don't know which one this is because they go by numbers, but it is the Mohair Magic Glitz. Something about mohair right now. And it is 20% mohair, 20% wool, 57% premium acrylic, and 3% metallic. That's what the ice yarn is that I'm working on my cardigan for. And the Big Twist boho yarn is, it's the 80%, so it has more acrylic. So 80% acrylic, 15 wool, 5 mohair. And you know, the feel of them, I like the ice one better. They both feel very similar to, you know, like the neck and everything, but like with your hands, the ice one feels softer. Let's see. Garment wise, feeling them, I like the ice one better. You know, just by, like, if I were to close my eyes and do that little blind feel test or what have you, I like this one better. But I did work on it also. This is the tincanknits Harvest pattern. It is a free pattern, and it is a spectacular pattern for beginners or experienced people. It doesn't really matter. But if you're wanting to make a cardigan and you're not confident in your skills, grab some of the tincanknits patterns. She's got free ones, she's got paid for patterns. This one's a free one. They are amazing. And the way that it is written out, it gives you professional results. It really does. Very simple, very easy lines that just are well thought of and beautiful results. So I did work on this one because it was so similar to the other one. I kind of had to. and I'm loving it. I am absolutely loving this cardigan. I love the broken stripes. As you can tell, both of them have the broken stripes. Put this one right here on my arm so you can see them both, right? They both have what I would call the broken stripes. This one has the thinner stripes, but I love that look to it. I just think that's amazing. So I got more of, got my wool mohair lace type cardigan sweaters. I got both of them going. A little crazy, right? I think they'll both get worn. I really do. This is just so pretty and light and airy. Size 8 needles again with the smaller yarns. I mean, it says it's a 2. Here, let's compare these two. So the ice yarn says it's a 2. The big twist boho says it's a 1. I think they're like the same, right? I think those are the same. And with that, it's the fuzz factor that makes them say that one is, you know, that's a 2 right here. And I'm using size 8s for both of them, and it just looks amazing. So yeah, fun times. So, you know, for the people who are not in the United States that see this and they're like, whoa, I really want to get that and I can't get that where I'm at, or anything like, you know, where you can, or maybe it's just like shipping's ridiculous, right? Try this. Try this. This isn't the only game in town that is a wool mohair blend. So there you have it. I don't know what the number is on that, but it is the Mohair Magic Glitz. So that might help you. I don't know. And I don't know what color this is, but to me that's coffee. That is coffee. That's all the different shades of coffee. You know what I'm getting at? Yeah, that's what that is. So those are the things that I was able to get worked on today, or not today, but this week. Finishing the week out strong, finishing the month. I pushed, man. I'm telling you, that pair of socks almost didn't get done. I pushed hard. 4 projects this week. I guess I'm making it for last week where I only had 1 with a pair of socks, right? But that is rounding out the end of September. Wow, we are already pushing. We're like this. Hello, October, are you there? Are you there? We are right there, just up against the holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, you know, we got all the fall and everything coming in. We are 100% getting ready for pumpkin spice season, right? If you are the pumpkin spice person, there you have it. It is that time of year. Well, with that, everybody, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go. It's been an amazing week and just a fantastic month, and I hope you have had the same. With that, I'm going to let you go. You guys have a great day, night, evening, whatever it happens to be, and I will talk to you again later. Bye-bye.